Okay, so we have a new microphone, and it is testing my patience as far as where I have to sit and where it needs to sit and how I look at it and how it looks at me. And I think I just touched my shirt and I heard it in my ears. This thing is you're a little too intense, microphone. I like you very very much, but I worry that you're not going to fit in around here because we're not a very intense podcast. We're not exact, and we don't really know what we're doing. And if you take us to a level that's too far up, it's just going to cause issues with everybody, bad issues, scary issues, probably some fights, people, talking behind other people's backs, terrible stuff like that. I'm not interested. I'm not even interested a little bit.
Hey, Maddie, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I know you're having a little conversation over there with the new microphone. So I don't want to, tell tales at a school. I don't want to talk about people behind their back.
No, yeah. I think that's what I was just telling the microphone here, is that we don't want to do that. That's not something that we normally do.
Yeah. Hold on a second, Natick. Now, you're saying we don't say, that's me. Of course, hello, everyone. That's me, Rufus T. Rufus, the lawyer around here. And are you saying that we don't talk behind people's backs because we actually say the stuff to their face?
No, well, no, wait, no. Well, no, we try to be nice to people just in front of their face and behind their face and to the side of their face. And if you have a face, then we're going to try to kind of 360 upside down all the way around, just be nice to people in general. But what I was saying was, Rufus, have you met the new mic?
No, I don't believe I made your acquaintance. I'm saying hello to the little. Okay, oh yeah, I can do that. Hello there, microphone.
Yep, that's him.
How do you do? Not much for conversation, I see. You'd rather be talked at. And I don't. You got any questions? Bathrooms around the corner. No, I can't talk to this thing now. It don't make no sense. You're just looking at me funny here. You seem nice, microphone, but I got lawyer stuff. I'm gonna just skedoot back over here, and you do your microphone thing. Make me uncomfortable the way you're looking. Stop looking at me like that, please.
Now, microphone. I'm just gonna say it. You've already proved your worth, because normally Rufus stays in the podcast studio for the entire podcast, and now you all of a sudden you come in and you made him uncomfortable and got him to leave. I've never seen anything or anyone, any situation, be able to make that guy uncomfortable. So you get a gold star. First day, knocking it out of the park. I gotta tell you.
Yeah, I agree. It was weird. He was like. Did you see his eyes were like kind of darting around? He looked like a little bit. I don't want to say he was a little bit Banu, but
hey, you can't say Banu, all right? Because now that's twice. If it's said another time, then we're gonna get into the totes part, and then that issues. For years we've had big issues. So please, oh please, stop it right where we are.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Aloysius. We always try to steer away from all of that stuff because it causes a lot of drama. And I know at the beginning, Natty, you were saying we don't talk behind people's backs, we don't talk in front of, the whole thing you were saying, but just,
what?
We're getting a telephone call.
What is happening, producer? You have one job is. Well, you have a lot of. I know, but you don't take a phone call when we're doing a podcast. Why would you put it on mute? Put it on vibrate.
Yeah.
Put it in your locker. Like nobody should have their phone.
Sorry. That producer. That's the first. I think that might be the first time that's ever happened. That was really loud and not awesome.
Hold on, Natty. I just wanted to say that the phone call was actually from a very important person in your life.
So what are we doing? Like riddles now? Is that the game we're playing? Are you just gonna tell him? What are we doing?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Sorry. Who was it? Who's very important in my life? Who just called you? Instead of, I guess, calling me. Or did they? Maybe they did call, but I don't have my phone. I don't know.
Yeah, so they did actually call you, and Yes, it went to voicemail, and so it was a bit of a, so they did call me because it was a bit of a, it was kind of like a bit of an emergency, and so yeah.
What is this guy doing? Okay, so it's you're not telling us who called, and now you're saying it's an emergency, and then you trail off. Love you to death, producer. You're wonderful. You're great. Get to the point. Who was it that called Natty with an emergency?
Yeah, thanks, Aloysius. Like, what are we doing? Do we need to stop the podcast, and can you tell me, or do I need to be worried? Like, what is happening right now?
Well, no, I'm sorry, but you guys keep cutting me off, and I get a little bit nervous, and that's why I don't talk a lot in the microphone because there's a podcast, and I'm
go.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. So okay, we know you're a producer. You're behind the microphone, and so somebody called me, and they said it was an emergency. And can we just please can you just tell me?
Yeah, hold on a second. I actually, funny story. They just called me back, but I had turned the ringer off and I had muted my microphone, and so you didn't hear the whole thing. But the thing is, the emergency is now past, and it was just a small thing that maybe it didn't end up being anything at all, and so it's not a big deal. And so you don't even have to worry about it. You guys just continue on, go on with your big podcast. You're doing such a good job. Always so proud of you. New microphone. Looking at you. I'm looking at you over there. Okay, got a little work to do. You and me, right? But we'll figure we're gonna get there. We're all gonna get there.
Okay, cool, great. So now that we're stuck in this, and I hope this isn't the entire podcast. I hope Bumperpodcast has some silly story to tell or something. But I know I'm invested emotionally, and I would also like to know what was who was the person who called, and what was the emergency that has now been settled and is no longer an emergency. And now that we have all that information, and that you just had a happy conversation with him, that you can take a nice deep breath and just
here's the thing. I actually do. I love
Producer?
Indian food. I love just the spicy. It's good. A lot of flavor.
Is he on the phone?
Really?
I think he's
on the phone.
Producer?
Yeah, he's on the phone right now.
No, that sounds right.
Knock on the window.
Yeah.
We're knocking on the window.
That sounds good to me. I don't like to eat
Producer.
too much later in the day.
Producer.
Huh? Oh.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah, shut it off. Cut it off. I'm going to take a deep breath. It's all okay. We just might have to throw this episode away, but that's okay. We were excited. We had a new microphone, and now producer is receiving phone calls and then talking to people in the booth. And we still don't even know who it was, or if that was the same person, or what the emergency was, or anything.
Yeah, Natty, I apologize. I was on the telephone over there with a producer, and I feel a little bit bad that maybe I was interrupting, is what I'm understanding. He looks pretty upset in there in the booth.
Yeah. Hold on. Were you the first call or the second call, or I think there were three, or all? Was it all you?
Yeah, well, now, here's the thing. I don't know how many phone calls that the producer got. You're saying three. Let me think here, because I called, and Natty, I called you, went to voicemail, and then I called producer, and producer, you see, you answered the phone, and let me think. We got cut off, and then I called you back to let you know that everything was all right. And then I'm the I was talking about we're gonna go eat some food maybe after the show, and then we're gonna go get some lunch also. So we got some discussions to discover.
So microphone made you nervous, Rufus. So you left the studio. And then you almost immediately, within like a couple of minutes, start calling producer during the show while you know that we're recording the show. And now you're telling me that there was some sort of emergency and that the emergency went away. Can you now explain what that was?
Yes, well, I can
Producer, sorry. I don't want to hear... I need to talk to Rufus to see what's going on. because it was supposed to be a big fun day. We got a new microphone. I had some silly funny stories I was going to tell, and now it's I like, sometimes the wheels do come off here at the Bumper Podcast. We have our silly fun and everything's all whatever, but this feels different and it's frustrating. I'm not going to lie. So tell me, Rufus, what was this big emergency that you felt like you needed to call producer during the show and talk about?
Yeah, so the main issue, the main problem is that I got a little bit of low blood sugar and I got very hungry, and so I was calling you because I didn't remember the code to the refrigerator, and you didn't answer, and I was getting weak. Normally I would never call producer during the show, but I was getting a little bit, like I was going to pass out, a little bit like I was going to go to, just lay on the floor. And, Aloysius, I know he don't carry his phone around. And so then I called producer, and I did do that, and I apologize because it was right during the middle of the show.
So now we know who it was. It was you calling. We know what the emergency was, that you were hungry, I guess. And then you called back because the emergency was solved. Like everything was figured out. Is that's where we are now, right?
Yeah. So now what happened with that? What had happened was I did end up laying down on the floor, which was nice and cool. The tiles and everything. It felt nice. I took a nap for about, I don't know, minute and a half, 2 minutes, whatever it was, and then out of the clouds it came to me. It was the code for the refrigerator, and I looked up and I said to myself, Rufus, you're supposed to eat right now, and this is the universe telling you so. And so I got up and I went over to the refrigerator, punched in that code, and lo and behold, it opened right up.
So, just to reiterate, Natty, Rufus was hungry, got the code, opened the fridge, and may have lost producer his job. It's what I'm taking in here.
Well, here's the thing too: is this was rough. This was really bad, and producer, I'm sorry, but like this is kind of unacceptable. You can't do this type of thing. Like this is just you're here to produce the show. Rufus, I'm sorry you got hungry. And why we have the code on the fridge, because Santa Claus kept coming in and eating all the snacks.
Well, Natty, I'm going to say, if this is how it's going to be moving forward, I don't know. These conditions are just a little bit unacceptable to me, okay? I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if you got the new microphone that you evidently love, and you don't even want it. You don't like me, and I can't feed people, and I don't know what my position is anymore, and I guess we're going to be written up and have a demerit. I don't know, okay?
Yeah, you know what? This has never happened before. This microphone came in, he's brand new, and obviously he's causing a lot of trouble. So microphone, why don't you just hit the road?
The Bumper Podcast is an oftentimes hilarious weekly romp with Natty Bumpercar and some of his pals. It is family-friendly, clean, and ridiculous. Thanks a bundle for listening. If you love our show and you'd like to help support the podcast, check out our Patreon page at https://www.patreon.com/Natty Bumpercar. Also, pretty please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Share it with everyone everywhere, post about it on all of the social medias, or leave a rating and review. The Bumper Podcast is produced at headquarters in Coffee Can Alley. It's recorded, mixed, and produced by producer. The Bumper Podcast features contributions from Aloysius J. Pig, Rufus T. Rufus, Doodle Poodle, Robot, Trunks, and a gaggle of other silly rascals. Our head talker is probably Natty Bumpercar. We also have an absurd newsletter. Check it out and subscribe at nattybumpercar.com/subscribe. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Natty Bumpercar. Hugs and hearts. See you soon.